If you're watching this video and thinking of buying a home or moving to Trinity, Florida, just outside of Tampa, then you are gonna wanna watch this video because I'm gonna break down for you the pros and the cons of living in Trinity, Florida, and give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, because nowhere is perfect and Trinity is no exception. And make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to give you some of the things that I don't think other people are mentioning. And this comes from someone who's lived in the area and sold homes there for the last 20 years. So buckle up, grab your notebook and your popcorn, and let's dive right into it. Alright guys, now like I said, I've been selling homes there for the last 20 years. And I actually had an office right in Trinity for 8 years. And what that's done is given me the opportunity to talk to a lot of the customers who we helped find a home there and who we've helped move away from there. And I've got really some contrasting opinions as to things that they love and they hate about the area. So what I want to do is put them all together in this little video, wrap a bow around it and give it to you so you can decide whether it's the right place for you. Now I will say most of them love it, but nowhere's perfect, including where I live, and so I wouldn't try and present that as being the case. And just because somebody loves something, another person might hate it, so don't necessarily get lured into the fact that because I say it's a con means it has to be a con. I'm just here to give you the info, it's up for you to interpret, but these are the most popular pros and cons that I see and hear from customers of living in Trinity, Florida. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start off with the pros. And pro number one, without a doubt, is gonna be the location. It is so convenient for a number of things and one of the most popular reasons that people will decide to live in Trinity. Now, first of all, it's located just off of State Road 54. So there's a ton of stuff going on immediately around it. But you also have really good access to US 19 and good access to the 589 Suncoast Parkway toll road south to Tampa. So it's really convenient to get to Tampa. It's really convenient to get to US 19, but because it's on the Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough borders, or in that little triangle there, it's also a great jumping off point for going to some of the beaches locally as well. And whereas there's certain areas like Wesley Chapel, for example, way further east that can be over a mile from some of the best beaches around, Trinity is a really great jumping off point. It's super close to some places like Honeymoon Island, and it's not even a million miles away from Clearwater Beach, although it's a little more of a hike. So a ton of stuff going on around it, really convenient to get to a bunch of places, and pretty close to all of the beaches. It's a win-win-win as far as location goes. Now the second pro is going to be what's going on immediately in Trinity itself. And there's this really cool little downtown area of Trinity that they built years and years and years ago, back when there was the housing boom. And it's a commercial area, and forever nothing was in there. It kind of sat there abandoned for a number of years. And more recently, with the real estate boom that happened during the pandemic, we've seen more businesses moving into that little downtown area. And it's a really exciting revival to see. And that's in connection with just the sheer amount of building that they're doing in Trinity in general at the moment, where there's tons of new amenities and stores and restaurants coming in there. So a lot of thriving stuff happening in Trinity, nowhere more so than that little downtown area, which I would love to see completely full and bouncing. But it's coming. And Trinity's becoming a really cool area for people to go visit because of the stuff there is to do there and the stuff that's popping up. So definitely one of the pros, in my opinion, is the stuff that's going on there and the rejuvenation of that little downtown area. And of course, as they do expand the building, that's only going to get better and better and better. So when I think back 12, 13 years ago, back to when Trinity was pretty much one of the fastest growing zip codes in all of the state of Florida, it looks completely different today than it did back then. There's so much more stuff to do, and I can only imagine what it's going to look like 10, 15, 20 years from now. Now, pro number three is going to be the property taxes. Now, because it's in Pasco County, basically, the property taxes are going to be pretty significantly less than somewhere in Hillsborough, such as, let's say, West Chase or even Lutz. So you have the proximity to Tampa, but you still have the tax break on the property taxes of being in Pasco County. So that's definitely a pro where you're looking to stretch your dollar further than ever with high interest rates and high prices. So definitely property taxes being a little less expensive is a pro. Now the next pro, while we're talking about it, is going to be the cost of living in general. And I want to give you these statistics, which is it's 2% lower than the national average and about 4.9% lower than the state average. So it's one of the more affordable suburbs of Tampa as well, despite everything that's going on around it, its fantastic location and its proximity to Tampa, and, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, the fantastic school zone that it's in as well. So cost of living, very, very reasonable for everything that you get there. And then, like I said, the final pro I'll give you is going to be the fantastic schools that are in Trinity. It's really one of the primary magnet factors that people want to move there for. So the Christian Academy is great, Trinity Elementary is very highly ranked. Like I always say to people, use something like niche or great schools, go online and do your research, but certainly if you're concerned about schools, Trinity is going to be one of those areas that you really want to take a close look at. Hey guys, Ross Hardy from the Hardy team at Remax. If this is your first time watching the channel, you're going to want to do a couple of things. First of all, like this video, comment down below, let me know what you think of Trinity Florida so far, but you're also going to want to subscribe and hit the notifications bell. That way, anytime we release a video like this about not only Trinity, but any of the suburbs north of Tampa, like Wesley Chapel, Spring Hill, Brooksville, Lutz, Land O'Lakes, Odessa, and also Westchase, you're going to be the first to know about them. But we're also doing new home tours as well. I'm sure everyone loves looking at those as much as I do. Now, if you have any questions at all, you can reach out to us at the contact information below. We love hearing from folks like you on the YouTube channel. You can call, text, email, set up a Zoom, or leave a comment on that as well. I answer all of those personally. There's never a time that's too early to start looking and doing research, whether you're 9 days or 99 days away. We're here for you whenever you need us. We would love to hear from you and show you around town. That's all I'm going to say for now. Let's dive right back into the video. All right, guys, so now you're thinking, Trinity, finally I found a place, it's perfect. But nowhere's perfect, and there are some cons that I've heard over the course of time, as well as what I perceive to be cons as well of living there. So it's really important I break those down and don't just look at this all as unicorns and rainbows. And con number one is without a doubt gonna be the traffic. Now, because it's on State Road 54, which is a pro for location, it also means it is very susceptible to backed up traffic, particularly at peak times, because it is one of the main roads heading east-west or west-east, whichever way you look at it. You know, I'll tell you, when I used to drive down there to get to the office, it took way longer than it should. And when I was down there a couple of weeks ago shooting content for the channel, I was trying to get back across State Road 54 to the Suncoast Parkway about 4:45, 5 o'clock, and the traffic was pretty rough. It was backed up way back past the lights. It was very, very slow moving. Of course, the schools were letting out around about that time as well. And so traffic is worse in Trinity than even say somewhere like Odessa, which is very close geographically to it. So you're going to want to take that into consideration. I don't think it's as bad as Tampa or even Wesley Chapel for that matter, but it's going to be worse than some of the other suburbs. So take that into account. If that's going to be a big deal to you, there might be better solutions. Now, con number two is that because it was such a rapidly growing area, housing there became really, really popular, and as a result, obviously coinciding with the housing boom of the pandemic, it's now one of the more expensive suburbs of Tampa as well. So when you look at the median price point, it's just a touch over $500,000. In fact, $507,000. Now that's compared to $425,000 at Wesley Chapel, $460,000 in Lutz, so you can see how it's on the higher end of things. And it's not to say you don't get the benefit of the great school system and some of the amenities being right on the doorstep, but if you're trying to make your dollar stretch as far as you can, there are certainly more affordable options as far as suburbs go out there. Now, con number three is going to be that although it is a great location, it is further from Tampa than some of the other suburbs. So if you are going to be commuting to Tampa a lot, getting across 54 over to the Suncoast Parkway might become a little bit monotonous after a while. So in that case, there are places like Odessa and even Wesley Chapel and probably Lutz, to be honest with you, that are more conveniently placed to be getting to Tampa. So again, think how often you're going to be going there or not and weigh up whether that's good or bad for you, but it's certainly not as conveniently located to Tampa as some of those other neighborhoods, Westchase being the best one of all. Now, con number four is going to be the lack of, well, two things, nightlife and then culture. So if you're someone who likes to stay out late, you know, if you want bars that stay open late, and especially if you want clubs, you're not going to find those in Trinity. They're just not there. You're going to be heading further south and going into Tampa for those things. And I just told you how that can be a little bit difficult to do sometimes. And then, like I said, there's not really any culture there to speak of either. So museums, galleries, theaters, anything like that. Again, you're pretty much going to be working your way down to Tampa for those. So take that into consideration. It's not to say that any of the other suburbs have great culture going on around there either, but again, some of them are better located and better proximity to Tampa, so that becomes a factor at that point. And for most people, honestly, nightlife is not a huge thing because most people are moving to these suburbs either when they're retiring or to get their kids into great school zones, so they're not into heavy drinking at that point. But if it is a consideration for you, again, you might want to look somewhere closer to Tampa or somewhere that has a little bit more nightlife going on, like Wesley Chapel or most certainly Westchase. And then finally, the last con I'm going to give you is there's also less in the way of family activities to do there, especially compared to Wesley Chapel or West Chase yet again, where they have that Elevate Fun Zone in Citrus Park by West Chase, and they have a ton of stuff going on in Wesley Chapel. Now again, as that development happens, these things kind of come along with time, but they're just not there yet, and they are there in other areas. So again, for stuff to do with the family and with kids especially, if that's a huge thing for you, West Chase, Wesley Chapel might be better solutions for you. Be sure to check those out. We've got videos all over the channel about those places as well. Okay guys, so that's going to do it for the pros and cons of living in Trinity, Florida. I hope you found that useful, and I hope you found it a really balanced argument. Now, like I said, if you have any questions, be sure to reach out to me. You can hit us up at the information below. You can call, text, email, set up a Zoom, or leave a comment, and I answer all of those personally myself. And if you want to snag a free list of homes in your certain price points or areas you might be interested in, you can hit me up for those as well. We'd be happy to send that over to you. And if you're coming into town and want touring around to see some properties and learn a little bit more about the area, we're delighted to do that. We love working with people from the YouTube channel. You guys are my favorite because you're researchers and you know what you're looking for. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell, and watch the rest of the videos on the channel, not just about Trinity, but also the surrounding suburbs such as Lutz, Land O'Lakes, Wesley Chapel, and West Chase. We got a ton of content on there. Can't wait to show you around town one day soon. I'm Ross Hardy from the Hardy team. It's time to love where you live.